Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Phil Arno.
And I'm Kim Piazza. Phil, you know what? This is going to be one of my favorite kind of shows.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You know why?
No.
Because we're talking about food.
Ah, and you have some kind of connection with food?
Yes, I like to eat.
I think I read that in the papers.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You're in luck.
Uh-huh.
Because today's guest is Johnny Chow.
Marco from Exclusive Chefs was on hand to help me set up a little VIP reception at the request of the band's manager, my good friend Kimball Packard. One of the items I created were my famous fruit boats, which I originally invented for the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Kind of finger salad, which contains a Belgian endive leaf filled with a puree of fresh fruit, Italian gorgonzola cheese, and wasabi macadamia nuts from Hawaii. We add a little fruit. It's a mixture of fresh peaches and pears and banana. And you add that fruit, nice texture because it's thick. And then on top of that, we're going to sprinkle some gorgonzola cheese, which we have. You can do the fruit, and I'll just exemplify what we're going to do. A bit of gorgonzola cheese, a little blast of gorgonzola, and then, last but not least, a wasabi macadamia nut from the island of Maui. And I crushed them up nice, and basically we'll take a little bit of that, and look how pretty that looks.
And in honor of our Hollywood connection, here's Johnny.
Well, thank you so much. It's so beautiful to be in Buffalo. You know,
Ooh,
I haven't been around here since I was like a young toddler, maybe 3 or 4 years old.
So you missed it.
It's taken this much time.
I miss you guys so much. I'm so happy to be back, and I'm so excited about this weekend. Right? We got Taste of Buffalo.
Taste of Buffalo. Yes.
And what I do at these events is not just food. I bring music and food together like no one else. I've got one of Buffalo's greatest musicians performing with me, Mr. Gino McManus, and together what we do is we create food like it's music. I start off with olive oil, garlic, and ginger, and it's like laying down the rhythm track, you know, with the bass guitar and the drums, and then I get into adding more ingredients. It's like overdubs, adding the piano. So we're going to have a great show out there Saturday and Sunday.
You are speaking the two languages that Kim understands the most. Food and music.
Unbelievable.
I'm in love.
In that order.
Well, I think most people do, right? And it's exciting because I haven't been up here, and I've been traveling around the world. I've been filming in England, Scotland, Wales, British Columbia. I've been filming all over, and it's so nice to be back because I love doing shows in the heartland, in the middle of the United States, or in cities that are not huge. I'm tired of the LA and the New York scene.
We won't tell them you said that.
Oh, I'm so tired of it. It's so nice to be in Buffalo, New York, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. We're going to have such a good time.
Well, and you know, while you're talking here, you're talking about traveling around the world and film and music. I mean, you just threw out a little bit of everything there, Johnny. And so, my goodness, what is your background?
Well, you know, I started off in radio. I was doing rhythm and blues radio. I was the first white Caucasian to work in rhythm and blues radio on the west coast of Florida. And then I went into concert promotion in Atlanta. I promoted jazz concerts in Atlanta. And then I went into management. I managed Henry Aaron, the baseball player, Hammer and Hank, for 4 years. And then I had Isaac Hayes for 2 years. So during this tenure, I was always cooking for my celebrity friends. And they always said, open a restaurant, we'll back you, we'll give you the money. I said, no, restaurants are not for me. You know, I always wanted to just...
You didn't want to be pinned down.
No way, I wanted to continue my entrepreneurship. So I continued doing what I did, and then I moved out to Los Angeles, and I got tired of the smog in the Hollywood Hills, and I took a little apartment in San Francisco where I met the famous concert promoter, Bill Graham. Now, Bill introduced me to the Carlos Santana, the Grateful Dead, Huey Lewis, some of the greatest rock stars of our time, where I was doing food backstage. And then one day, a strange phone call came from an agent in Beverly Hills who said, Michael Jackson collapsed on stage in Singapore or somewhere in the Far East and needs help with his diet. And they wanted me to move to Neverland. Well, I thought, well, that's pretty interesting. I'll go on the interview just to meet Michael Jackson. So I went on the interview, and there he was, and they loved me, and they hired me, but I met so many great people.
So it was Johnny in Neverland.
Johnny was in Neverland, but I met a lot of great people there, like the late Marlon Brando and the late Gregory Peck. A lot of great people came because it was a resort. It wasn't just Michael's home. It was a resort.
Well, now, if you're going to drop all of these names, all of these wonderful names, I want to hear stories. Tell me some good stories.
There's great stories. Well, you know, I did the Willie Nelson picnic for several years when Willie moved the picnic to Atlanta, and just going in to Willie's trailer. They had barbecue. As you know, they do. Most of the country stars will have barbecue.
We like barbecue in Buffalo too, Sir Johnny.
I love it too, but what they had were cans of beans and big prawns from Louisiana. So I thought, you know what? Let me create something interesting. And I took an old traditional Italian recipe, pasta fagioli. And I made a pasta fagioli with the beans, and I added the prawns. And I made my Willie Nelson Texas stew.
Oh my goodness.
And it was blowout. I had Willie, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard,
Southern
Linda
pasta fagioli.
Ronstadt. That's right, a Southern pasta fagioli. So, you know, it was always interesting. Marlon Brando, what a character. He wouldn't leave me alone. When I met Marlon Brando, I'd say, Mr. Brando, where would you like to eat tonight? Right here in front of you. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta have Marlon Brando sitting in front of me. And that's what went on. You know, my life has always been around the big celebrities and cooking for them one-on-one.
So, colorful, I think might be a word we use when we're talking about your background, Johnny, and how you came to do all of these wonderful things. And we've got these books here on the tables, cookbooks that you've written, and you mentioned that this particular special menu. What is this?
This is great. I did this for the Olympics in Atlanta. I had a.
Did you hear that, Western New York? The Olympics in Atlanta.
Right. And it's a record album menu, so it looks like a record album. It has the credits on the back. Very cool. And if you come out to Taste of Buffalo on Saturday and Sunday, I'll have all this stuff out so you can take a look. And my first book was called Cooking with Country Music Stars, and had recipes from Dolly Parton, the Oak Ridge Boys, Hank Williams Jr., some of the greatest country stars of our time. The second book I did was called Concert Kitchen, which had recipes under 5 to 10 minutes, under $5 to $10, and under 5 to 10 ingredients.
Wow.
And
this is fabulous.
It's a great book, and they both did very well. And now I'm writing a third book right now, which is kind of an autobiographical cookbook, which goes through my life before Johnny Chow, because I kind of made that name up, you know. That's not my real name.
That's not who you are.
I mean, I made that up over a bottle of wine in San Francisco. So it's a fun book, a lot of good stuff going on with that. And
you're jingling. You are a musical man.
See that? I'm just flowing with musical vibes. So today I created some stuff for you guys. Ooh, tell me about it.
This is for us? Wait. This is for us, or is this just for me?
Just for you.
Thank you. To hear that?
I'm going to keep my fingers to myself. Right now.
No, she's dangerous, isn't she? So what we have here is...
We hit all the sharp instruments. But
Psychedelic bean salad, which has got raw bell peppers, jicama, red onion, jalapeno, and black beans.
Why is it called psychedelic?
Because I invented it for the Grateful Dead.
So, okay.
What could I tell you?
Okay.
Backstage with Jerry Garcia.
That explains it all.
You'd come up with different names for different recipes.
Say no more.
And these are my Bluesy Burritos, which I invented while I was working with Carlos Santana. And a lot of the performers, they would like food backstage that they can eat quickly. So the psychedelic bean salad, the Bluesy Burritos.
So they were eating this in between coming off stage and on stage.
Before they went on stage.
Just running all around.
And the bean salad was high energy. You know, you have your protein in there. You have a lot of vitamins in there. So it helps on stage. And the burritos are like a bolognese, Italian bolognese. Bolognese.
Bolognese.
But if you're from the Midwest or you're from an area where you loved sloppy joes, this is the best because they're gourmet sloppy joes, and you can't beat it.
So when I'm looking at this food and looking at your books, this seems like this is really healthy stuff.
Everything I do is healthy. I've taken from my Italian roots and living in California for so many years, I've kind of recreated. So it's a European California style cuisine. And that's healthy because the Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest and California cuisine is healthy. So I've kind of created and combined the two.
You've taken together the best of, it sounds like,
The best of the best.
many worlds.
That's right. And you know, I try to keep things simple. I mean, too many chefs today are going way over the top with stuff they do. I mean, it just becomes a little too complicated. I like to keep everything simple, using fresh ingredients and creating food from the heart and from the soul.
Well, you know, I think we all need to take a bite of our burritos
Let's do it.
before we go to commercial. And Johnny, salute.
Cheers.
Wow.
Salute. And when we come back, making music with Sir Johnny.
Delicious.
Making music might almost be as good as making food.